girls, it's Hailey Reese, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so grateful that you are here, and I really do hope, as always, that you're having an absolutely incredible morning, afternoon, or night, whatever it is for you when this video finally reaches you. Today's video is one that I am super excited to get into because it has come highly requested. I have had so many of you guys asking me as of late to dive into more glitch in the matrix experiences and theories surrounding these glitches that people are experiencing all across the world. And so today I thought, what better to do than exactly that, as I've got a story for you that was shared with me, and it is absolutely mind-bending. Now, personally, I have had my own glitch in the matrix experiences, and many people within my life have also had experiences of their own too. But today's video really leans in the direction of the theory surrounding glitch in the matrix, where we are experiencing a jump or a leap to an alternate or parallel universe or reality. Whether it's an overlapping of two worlds, different dimensions, or parallel universes, or if it's a complete quantum leap is really unknown, but the experience that I'm going to share with you today points in the direction that perhaps there really are infinite versions of us existing within infinite worlds. Before we get into today's video, I do just want to take a moment to remind you, or perhaps let you know, that I am uploading a new video every single day for the month of October, 31 videos back to back. I'm so excited to be here spending spooky season with you guys and uploading a new video each and every day. So if you're new to my channel, or you would just like to see more of me, make sure to go ahead, click that subscribe button, turn your post notifications on, or check in every single day, as there will be a new video for you to enjoy. But with all of that being said, sit back and relax, because we're about to get into this glitch in the matrix experience. So this story starts with a woman named Fiona who lives in a pretty busy city. Fiona says that she wakes up every single morning at the crack of dawn, 5 a.m. sharp, and she has a routine that she always sticks to. She gets up, she goes and brushes her teeth, she makes her cup of coffee, and she goes through her to-do list for the entire day. Fiona said that with work, every day is a little bit different, but each and every day is full of responsibilities and pretty jam-packed. So one thing that she does every morning in the time that she allows herself to have extra time is sits down and goes over her daily schedule. But on this particular morning, Fiona would wake up and go to turn off her alarm clock, realizing that it seems as though she's slept in many of hours. The alarm clock is showing her that it's actually 9 o'clock in the morning. Now, this is really out of character for Fiona, but beyond that, doesn't really make sense, because she never sets her alarm for 9 o'clock in the morning, and she never sleeps in. Now, Fiona gets up, she goes and she brushes her teeth, and she heads to the kitchen to make coffee. And that's when she notices that the brand of coffee in her coffee machine is not at all the brand that she's purchased or has ever even tried. She starts looking through her coffee cabinet and realizing that it's all entirely different. There's a lot more decaf in this cabinet, and it's a completely different brand than she's ever used. And this is the first moment that she really sits back and asks herself, what's going on? She starts to look around her apartment and says it feels as though she's in this dream-like state. Everything feels like it's her life, and yet simultaneously not her life. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Her phone's not blowing up as it should be, given that she's slept in much later than she usually does. And things in her house aren't quite right, starting with the coffee, moving forward to where the lamp is situated in her living room. It's as if somebody came in and minorly rearranged her entire condo. It was like all these little things were just placed in completely different spots, or a way that she didn't quite remember them. One little trinket that she got on a family vacation, she distinctively knew was actually a deep green. But now as she looks at this little trinket, it's actually a deep blue. The lamp's in a different spot. There's magazines she doesn't remember buying, but she chalks all this up to just being an off morning, and she sits down to go over her daily schedule. And that's when a message comes in on her phone from her younger sister telling her to come over as soon as possible, that it's an SOS and it's really, really important. So she decides to send out an email from her business email stating that she's taking the day off, that she woke up sick, and she gets in her car and heads toward her sister's home. Everything on the drive still feels off to her. She can't shake this feeling that something in her life is not quite right. She said it was almost like she was disassociating from her own body and an onlooker into her life, thinking, it seems like it should be familiar, but it's not exactly accurate. She gets to her sister's house and she sits down in the living room, and her sister comes in with a glass of water, but she looks really alarmed. Now she starts asking her younger sister, what's going on? And that's when her younger sister turns to her and says that she can't tell her what's going on until their older sister gets there. And that's when all of a sudden Fiona is just hit with this wave of a sinking, awful feeling. She looks up at her younger sister, who's now looking at her concerned, and says, what do you mean she's coming? And that's when she looks at Fiona and tells her, what's wrong with you? Like, we only ever talk about big life things all together. We're going to wait till she gets here. But this feels very, very wrong to Fiona. Her older sister gets there, the three of them sit down in the living room, and that's when their younger sister breaks the exciting news to them that she is in fact pregnant. She goes on to tell them how her and her husband have been secretly trying, and that she's so excited to start this next chapter, and that they're the first two that she's telling. She goes to the bathroom with some more pregnancy tests to take them in live time to bring out to show the girls. And Fiona's just overjoyed and in shock because this entire day is nothing like what she thought it was going to be when she'd woken up. Fiona turns to her older sister, and again, this all feels like a dream. Everything feels wrong. Everything feels off, but yet she's got this burst of excitement for her younger sister. And yet there are these big things being shown in front of her face and all these things back home that just don't seem right. And that's when she starts talking with her older sister, talking about how strange her day has been and how she's been a little bit off. And furthermore, talking about how maybe her sleep is just off because she's had this really strange pain in her stomach. Her older sister looks at her and with the most serious look on her face tells her that she has a feeling this needs to be looked at, to please go to the doctor, make an appointment as soon as possible, and get this looked at. Now, Fiona remembers just feeling like there was power and weight in these words, and while nothing about this world felt right, she knew that there was something in that message that was needed to be heard by her. And so she really takes a note in her mind that she's going to make a doctor's appointment and get it checked out. Their younger sister comes back out, and the three girls go and have lunch in the kitchen as they gawk over the fact that she is, in fact, pregnant, and they're about to be aunts. This is where things just take an absolute shocking turn. She ends up leaving her sister's home and driving back towards her house, and that's when she starts to feel really lightheaded and almost like an out-of-body experience. She feels completely disassociated from her own body, from her own car, and even from her own mind, and decides to pull over to a gas station to go and get a drink of water and some Advil or Tylenol because her head is just pounding. And at this point, it actually starts to storm outside. So she finds herself running into this gas station and quickly trying to get what she needs. And that's when she notices a man walk into the gas station completely dry, and yet he'd just come in from the rain, staring directly at Fiona. Fiona says that she felt really uncomfortable. She grabbed her drink and grabbed what she needed and started walking towards the cash, and that's when the man looks at her dead into her soul and says, "You shouldn't be here." Fiona says she just gets this rush of that feeling once again that something's not right. She pays for her stuff, gets in her car, and gets home. Fiona, having taken the Tylenol, gets home, jumps in the shower, and climbs into bed, deciding just to write the whole day off as strange. She's so excited about the news of her sister, but everything else just doesn't feel right. That's really the only way that she could describe it. I keep saying it doesn't feel right. It didn't feel right. It wasn't right, but that's just how it felt to Fiona. It was her world, but something really wasn't right. She climbs into bed, she falls asleep, and she wakes up in the morning to her usual alarm right at 6 a.m. She rolls over, she gets out of bed, she goes, she brushes her teeth, she walks towards the kitchen, and she makes herself a cup of coffee. She remembers looking over and realizing that all the things that were strange the day before suddenly weren't strange. The little trinket that she got on vacation was its right color, the lamp was in the right spot in the living room, there were no strange magazines, and most importantly, the coffee that she was drinking was exactly her coffee. She makes her way over to the kitchen table, she pulls out her phone to start on work, and she begins her day. But right around 9:15 a.m., in rolls a text message from her younger sister, and that's when the reality of the dream that she feels she just had the night before hits her. Because as she goes to call her sister back, it all starts rushing back to her. Wait a minute. Yesterday, I got up and my place didn't look quite right. Yesterday, my sister called me right around this time when I'd woken up late. I'd rushed over there and wait a second. My older sister was there. But that didn't make sense because her older sister had been dead for years. Her older sister had unexpectedly and traumatically passed away, and this was something that the family had not gotten over. So why did she have this dream? And why around the same time during a workday was her younger sister calling her? She feels like it's some sort of deja vu, and she opens up her phone to call her sister back to return the call. And that's when her sister tells her, I need you to come to my house as soon as possible. Deja vu. Fiona goes to tell her sister, hey, what's wrong? What's this about? And she says, I have to tell you once you're here. Fiona gets in the car, starts driving over, a storm's rolling in again. She gets to her sister's house, gets inside, and realizes her sister's wearing something very, very similar to what she'd seen her wear in the dream she thinks she had. Her sister sits her down, and almost exactly like Fiona's dream, she begins to tell Fiona that she's pregnant and that she's been trying with her husband and that they finally just found out that they're pregnant. Now, right away, her sister's like, is everything all right? Because, well, Fiona is so excited. Now she's realizing that she'd had this exact dream, that this exact same day had completely different events, but yet the same massive one at the center of it all. Her sister was pregnant. The only difference here is that her older sister wasn't there because her older sister couldn't be there. She ends up congratulating her sister. They have lunch. She gets in the car and she starts heading back home. And that's when, once again, she gets this massive headache. This rush of emotion fills her body, and she's feeling like everything as she knew it is questionable. Nothing feels right. So she pulls over to go and get herself something to drink. And that's when she realizes she's once again in the exact same gas station as the day before. She goes inside, she grabs her drink, she turns around, and she sees a man similar to the one from her dreams. She asks him, do I know you? And the man just looks at her really weird. She pays for her drinks, gets in the car, and goes home. Fiona can't shake the feeling. She starts really thinking about everything from the night before in the dream that she'd had. She realizes how she'd woken up late in her same home, but yet totally different. How her sister had reached out to her. She'd went over, and yes, her sister was pregnant in the dream, something that she couldn't have known because she didn't know that her sister was trying, but her other sister was there. And then how she'd went back and was told that she shouldn't be here, and then fallen asleep and woken up in a different day, but yet the real day that she should have been living all along. Fiona ends up chalking all of this up to a strange dream, some sort of premonition, and something that was unexplainable but totally explainable at the same time as just an experience she had while sleeping. But the real kicker would be when she would follow up with her doctor about the pain that she'd felt. And the doctor would ask her why she decided to come in now to get this checked. She tells her that she'd had a weird dream where she felt like she really should get this looked at. And that was when the doctor would inform her that it was something serious, that thank goodness they were able to get ahead of, get treated now, because if it had went undetected, her outcome could have been very, very different. The kicker of it all is that Fiona forgets about this. She thinks that it was some sort of dream where she had a premonition, perhaps predicted the future, and because she missed her sister so much, she'd included her in this experience. She chalked up her sister telling her about the thing in her stomach to her own subconscious, being nervous about it all and knowing she should have it looked at. But years later, Fiona would find herself in front of a medium, and despite being a skeptic herself, the medium would give her some pretty shocking information. According to Fiona, this medium would tell her that she'd experienced a jump in timelines and that she'd visited a world of reality where her older sister had never passed away. That day had been a real day, but in a parallel, alternate world and reality. And that her sister telling her that was something divine, forcing her to therefore get it checked out earlier. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think that it's true, or do you think it really was some sort of strange dream? Do you think that she had woken up perhaps in another world, in an alternate reality? Or do you think it was some sort of a premonition where she foresaw the day that she was truly going to wake up to? What do you think about the fact that every single thing was the same and yet different? I don't know about you, but it definitely gives me goosebumps, so I knew I had to share it here with you guys. But that is basically it for today's video. If you guys are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed but you enjoy my content, I would appreciate it more than you'd ever know if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button, and please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. It really, really helps both me and my channel, and I appreciate it more than you would ever know. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness, and until tomorrow, I love you. Bye, guys.